In 2022, in the Niger desert in North Africa, a paleontologist kicks a pile of sand in complete frustration. As a rock that gets kicked away lands, his blood runs cold. It wasn't just a rock, it was the distinctive skull crest of a dinosaur that vanished from scientific records over a century ago, and he just accidentally broke the fossil. This is the story of the most unlikely dinosaur discovery of the entire decade. A find so complete that it rewrites a lot about one of the most mysterious predators ever to walk the earth. And that discovery starts with nothing more than a footnote buried in dusty academic archives. It was a single sentence hidden in a decades-old geological survey of the African nation of Niger. The French geologist Hugues Faure mentioned finding one single tooth of Carcharodontosaurus in the desert in the 1950s. Just a few simple words casually written on a page decades ago. In 2019, renowned paleontologist Paul Sereno bet his entire expedition on that single footnote. The expedition took place in the Sahara Desert in the region of Niger. After a day and a half of brutal off-road driving through the Sahara Desert, his team finally reached the coordinates mentioned in the old geological survey. Nothing but endless sand stretched in every direction as far as they could see. They didn't find one tooth like the footnote had casually mentioned decades earlier. They found 30 teeth scattered across the sand in a concentrated fossil site. Then things got stranger as a local man suddenly approached their camp with an intriguing offer for the team. He told them confidently that he knew where there were actual dinosaur bones. For 2 days straight, he led them deeper into the desert on a motorcycle. Satellite imagery of the area showed absolutely nothing but endless sand dunes everywhere. No rock formations were visible anywhere on the satellite maps at all. He stopped his bike abruptly and dismounted in what seemed like random desert. He pointed at the ground beneath their feet and said one simple word. Here, buried in the sand was a massive femur measuring over 6 feet long. A sauropod thigh bone the size of a grown man lay half exposed. On their last morning before departure, something caught Daniel Vidal's eye. The paleontologist spotted something unusual protruding from the sand near their camp. A piece of jaw with 3 tooth sockets clearly visible in the bone. Without any tools available at that moment, he and Sereno dug frantically with bare hands. Tooth after tooth appeared as they continued digging in the scorching desert heat. They had absolutely no idea what they had found at that very moment, but had to leave as the research period ended. To make matters worse, the team had to wait 3 long, unforeseen years during COVID before they could return in 2022. Almost miraculously, on the first morning back, they found the missing snout tip, and it fit perfectly with the 2019 specimen like a 95-million-year-old puzzle. It was that very same evening when they would learn that it was indeed Spinosaurus, but they would find out in an unusual way, and it took place like this. Daniel's colleague Alvaro was completely obsessed with collecting every single dinosaur tooth he could find. Every few minutes, he would exclaim excitedly about finding yet another tooth. Daniel finally snapped after hearing about teeth for the 100th time that evening. He yelled to stop talking about the effing teeth already and kicked a large pile of sand in frustration. A rock suddenly flew up into the air and exposed a nasal crest, unlike anything they had ever seen before in their careers. The crest was scimitar-shaped and curved dramatically, like an ancient sword blade would be. And Daniel had just kicked it hard enough to crack it down the middle. It was then when they knew. They found Spinosaurus. But here's where the story gets insane beyond all expectations. There were 3 complete specimens with skull material preserved in remarkable condition for fossils. 11 more individuals with partial remains were discovered scattered around the immediate area. In total, 14 Spinosaurus individuals were found at this one single location in Niger. The first good Spinosaurus material found anywhere in over a century of searching. One specimen represents the most complete Spinosaurus skull ever found in the entire history of paleontology. It includes the premaxilla, both maxillae and the distinctive nasal horn crest. Many teeth, including replacement teeth still forming inside the jaw, were perfectly preserved. For the first time in history, scientists could see how every single skull piece fit together. But there was a serious problem that threatened to destroy everything they found. The bones were completely encased in iron concretions that were harder than the bone itself. Touch them with mechanical tools and the bone shatters before the iron breaks at all. The solution required months of patient work using CT scans and careful chemical cleaning. One bone they found in 2019 sat in a drawer for 4 years labeled simply ankle bone. Only after finding the distinctive scimitar crest did they finally realize the shocking truth. It was another nasal crest that had been sitting there for 4 years without anyone realizing it. The preparator, Aaron Fitzgerald, assembled hundreds of tiny fragments over many months of dedicated work. The result of her painstaking effort was the most dramatic theropod skull ever reconstructed. The crest was heavily vascularized, meaning they were filled with blood vessels throughout. The structure is remarkably similar to the casques of modern cassowaries living today. In life, they would have been covered in bright, colorful keratin sheaths for display. Bright colors would have been visible from great distances across the ancient landscape. The crests were most likely used for social display to attract mates or intimidate rivals. The skull also reveals hunting adaptations unlike anything seen before in any known theropod. The teeth interdigitate in a unique pattern where upper teeth lock between lower teeth like a precisely engineered zipper mechanism. The jaws have distinct gaps and deep notches carved into the bone itself. Interlocking conical teeth created the perfect fish trap for catching slippery prehistoric prey. And here's the controversial part that has divided paleontologists into opposing camps completely. This animal most likely had no lips covering its teeth like most theropods, but exposed teeth like today's crocodiles do. The nostrils sit far back on the skull instead of near the tip. That means Spinosaurus could spend hours with its jaws completely submerged beneath the water surface. A 40-foot ambush predator playing the waiting game for hours at a time, breathing through its nose while the rest of its head remained underwater waiting patiently. Now let's talk about the actual size of this newly discovered prehistoric monster. One subadult specimen found in the desert wasn't fully grown yet at death. It already measures 26 feet long, which is larger than most predators alive today. Scale that up to full adult size based on growth patterns observed, and you get an animal measuring 40 feet long from snout to tail tip. Nearly 5 tons of muscle, bone, and teeth hunting in prehistoric African rivers. A predator heavier than 2 modern cars combined stalking the ancient waterways. Here's the irony that has completely broken paleontology Twitter into endless debates and arguments concerning the movie Jurassic Park III. Spinosaurus mirabilis has proportionally longer legs than its cousin Spinosaurus aegyptiacus does. It looks more like the Jurassic Park III Spinosaurus than the real Egyptian species does. The movie accidentally got it right just by picking the wrong species to base it on. But the different habitats these two species lived in fact challenged everything we thought we knew before. Every known Spinosaurus aegyptiacus fossil comes from coastal North Africa near ancient shorelines. Deltas, mangroves, and ocean environments once dominated that landscape. In contrast, Spinosaurus mirabilis was found 300 miles inland from any coastline that existed at the time. No ocean was near this location 95 million years ago at all, just rivers. That means 2 species of the same genus lived at exactly the same time period, but with different prey items, and being separated by vast distances. Today, we know of 2 distinct types of Spinosaurus based on evidence. The northern type had shorter legs, measured 46 feet long, and weighed 8 tons. The inland type had longer legs and measured 40 feet, weighing 5 tons total. Same genus, but different adaptations. Sereno's team found 500 fossil jackets in 2022 that are still being studied today and waiting to be described in upcoming papers.